Hi everyone. Okay everyone. I have my sacred candle and today's crystals that will be assisting me. It's rose quartz. This is a smooth rose quartz for the heart chakra, unblocking, unlocking heart, health, and happiness. And then we have this little shirtine. It's also for the solar plexus energy. It's for success, giving you the will to be success that is for humanity, well-being, and vibrancy. Now, for today's words of wisdom with with Miss Ivy, I'm going to talk about what men instinctually know women are to give them. Okay, I love animals, and I love Discovery Channel. That's all I watch. Discovery Channel, animals. And you will notice out in the wild with the elephants and the lions that women, okay, or females, basically females give the males a higher purpose. Now, this has to do with, a lot of times we have animals that are like tigers. They're kind of like to themselves, little solitude. They don't really form packs, as we know. But the animals that do form these packs, like wolves, like lion and lionesses, elephants, in this whole group setting, I've noticed there is this matriarch, okay, like an elephant matriarch, and this matriarch tends to be a lot of times the lead female, meaning she is the holder of the group's wisdom. Not only the group's wisdom, but also the wisdom that has been passed down through the generations. So what this female does is not only does she offer the males their higher purpose, also offers the group or the collective its higher purpose. So through the wisdom of, let's say, the matriarch elephant, we have a little group of elephants, and there's a matriarch elephant, which is very much the leader. And that leader is determined by the woman, the female's strength, as well as her wisdom. So wisdom is a very important element in the wild, that in what determines a female as a matriarch, which a matriarch we can associate as basically the wise one, or the old soul. And that old soul is very much looked onto with with a bow. With a bow. Okay? So how this kind of runs in our biology, okay, as humans, okay, we men and women, and how it kind of runs in our biology is instinctually men know that a reverent matriarch, okay, which we all have that potential in us, it's just being a sovereign leader, okay, with great connection to the Mother Earth, and has great devotion to the ancestral wisdom that has been carried down. So they've been initiated into being a matriarch through their practice of being connected to the elements, but also being very much intelligent, knowledgeable about the elements and what's taken place in the elements itself. So, a man instinctually knows that a woman will give him his higher purpose, and not only give him his higher purpose, a man knows that with a woman that he will discover his own reverence. So I like this word reverence because to me it is being in, I like to say, the holy balance, okay? Like the holy I associate as the Trinity, which is like, it could just be a holistic mind, body, and spirit. It doesn't have to be religious, okay? Holy Trinity is simply the balance between the mind, body, and spirit. And feminine, the matriarch, representing wisdom, a very old soul, a female that has been practicing the art of Mother Earth, deep connection to Mother Earth. She has this understanding, okay, like the five elements. Through the learning of the five elements, you understand it. Therefore, you have this heightened awareness of what's taking place in your environment, like ultra sensitive senses that a lot of the elephants have, okay? So, with that, when a woman comes into her role as her own matriarch, okay, comes into her leadership, gets into her alignment with her most biological truth, that she is basically this holder of very ancient wisdom. And when a woman gets into that almost regal position within herself, which is grace, which is patience, which is sovereignty, which is integrity, which is dignity, that's what I'm talking about. A man, in the very presence of this woman, he is upgraded. So men know, like even out in the wild, they know that they're going to be activated. They know that they're going to be upgraded. They know that they're going to be given a purpose, like a higher function for not themselves, for the whole group. Okay, like this tribe group. And the thing is, men on a biological level, that is what gives them this sense of fulfillment within them. Okay, I'm talking about like biological, a sense of fulfillment. Okay, and you guys can agree or disagree, but this is a channel of flow. Okay? So with that sense of higher purpose, that sense of going to the matriarch, okay, it's like an elephant. I go to the matriarch. I ask for guidance. I ask for advice. The matriarch connects with the five elements, channels, gets in tune with the five elements while using her inner wisdom. She provides guidance. And that guidance given to the male, he gives to the group. Okay? He gives that guidance to the group to help keep the group safe and secure, protected. So we have a lot of male energy about protection, about safety and security. Now, when we have a lot of men, particularly in this young generation culture, that are running basically like this purposelessness, I like to say, this kind of like this purposelessness, and it's not very fulfilling and it's not very satisfying, because on an instinctual level, every male in their body, they want to rise into a more purposeful life, a productive life, because we all men know that productivity for the group creates a very harmonious and fulfilling group environment. Okay, but the whole message of this video is simply directed towards women, not so much men. Okay? Because when a woman is really holding that high caliber, where she's really connected with Mother Earth, and she's really in her leadership, okay, her reverence, her mind, body, and spirit alignment in balance, really connected to a greater understanding that's almost cosmic but very grounded at the same time. A man who is in the presence of her, or a woman who decides this man as her mate, as we know out there in the world, a lot of times it's women decide. Okay, this man will be forever changed. Okay, he has the opportunity to rise into his great maturity. Now, this maturity isn't like what we think of in our American society. You mature and you just become this dull, dimming, boring old man or something like that. That's what we think of maturity. That's why a lot of people are escaping maturity. They don't want to mature because they see it as that 50-year-old man who looks so bored, who looks so dull, who looks very unhappy and very dissatisfied. That's always when we're like, oh no, I don't want to mature. I'm just going to do this purposelessness for, because I don't want to get on that purpose. But that's not the purpose I'm talking about for men, okay? It is being in tune with yourself that creates that happiness. When you have this level of trust, you have your purpose is this almost like this collective drive to want to protect, want to keep safe and secure the, let's say, the creative endeavors of the female, and provide this provide this guidance. It's like an own male guidance, and guidance how the female can better, better, better create her expression that is more so secure within the environment. Okay? So with what we have going on is we have a lot of women who, a lot of young girls, a lot of women who basically don't understand their role to play on like a biological level. They just understand that they need to get a husband or they need to get any relationship. But that's not the higher function of the matriarch. It's not so much let me catch a relationship. It's more so the men, the males that are more so in the relationship. The females, a lot of the matriarchs are more so focused on the the gathering of the wisdom. Okay, the gathering of the wisdom, creation, getting into that creation. Now, in as women, when we focus more so on our creation, our expression, we get into our uniqueness. And our uniqueness is what makes us reverent. When we lose our sense of uniqueness, we have no original thought that can provide new thinking. And that new thinking is what helps the group to further evolve. And out there in the wild, it's about how do we further evolve. And we need new thinking, we need new patterns, we need to adapt. And that's how we adapt. We adapt through new thinking that creates these new patterns that can be better for this current time period that we're in. So when women are focusing on their relationship, because we have a lot of just like, I need to have a baby or I need to get married, and that kind of rush, we lose the gift that we give to men, which is a higher purpose. And therefore, men doesn't really have a higher purpose with a woman that doesn't connect with her creation that's inside of her. She has no connection to Mother Earth. She has no connection to the five elements. There is no wisdom inside of her. There is no higher knowledge inside of her because she's functioning from her out of alignment self. And as we've been through, a lot of women are functioning from that. And the thing is, what it does is it creates these men, even having kids, it creates these boys that are out of alignment with themselves. Like I say, if a woman is in alignment, true in alignment, her man will be in alignment. So if you see a man that's not in alignment with himself, a lot of times it can be because the woman is not in alignment with herself, meaning she hasn't put her commitment, her devotion, her practice to her own reverence, her own creative expression, her own uniqueness. Because if she's vibrating that out, that vibration, very much like how everything kind of changes by vibration, is created and destroyed, that vibration is enough to activate and to transform a man into his higher purpose, and as well as into his holy trinity, his holistic balance with the mind, body, and spirit, basically maturing him. Okay, maturing him. So with the whole saying of Yogi Bhajan talking about women as the leaders for the Aquarian age, we are very much the leaders of the Aquarian age, because we represent this very pronounced integrity and very pronounced dignity, okay? And that is what is going to create humans that are very much in alignment with something that has depth. So anything that doesn't have depth, it is something that is not fulfilling and it's not satisfying, but at the same time, it's too shallow to be able to feel a sense of navigation with this planet Earth. If it's too shallow, it's very, what are you pulling from? What are you going to pull from, tools wise, technology wise, for health and happiness, if it's just a shallow pool? So what we're doing is we give life, like revive life. We revive life, and it's through our liveliness, our changeability, our adaptability, our inner knowing, we could say. And when we've really risen to that high caliber within ourselves, with the partnership, it's not so much of we get a lot of relationships where it's just kind of like this pulling on each other. It's like pulling on each other. It doesn't become that. It becomes what we could say like Krishna and Radha, or I don't know if I pronounced their names right, but it becomes more so a dance of form, a rhythmic dance of form. That doesn't mean that it's all this easy. There's no, highs, lows. No, that doesn't mean, it means it becomes more rhythmic. When there's challenges, you tend to kind of dance with the challenges with each other because you both have an understanding that you're going to learn something from this. So you're very committed to learning the thing because you both understand this is a part of the higher purpose. This is how we both can get more into our holy trinity, mind, body, and spirit alignment, deep alignment with our Mother Earth. Okay? And the thing is, when we look at these ancient cultures that have like a Radha, Krishna, basically representing like the yin yang happiness, like a relationship that is very prolific, that is very harmonious, that's very radiant. That's the most important thing, a radiant relationship. Because we don't have a lot of that. We just have status quo. But a relationship that is not just status quo, they're on a call to journey together. And do we see a lot of relationships like that? No. Okay, it's just status quo, but that's a lower function. Okay, and when the matriarch rises and she reaches her call to journey, okay, the call of spirit, she adheres it, and she is practicing her creativity, Basically, her call to journey becomes the man's call to journey, his higher purpose. Her excitement becomes his excitement. He is excited to help the community evolve because he sees that the matriarch is very much devoted to helping the young generation as the old generation to successfully reach their own victory, their own happiness into death or whatnot, or happiness even through life or through the jungle or whatnot. Okay, so with that, it feels like there's a connection through the matriarch. There's the sense of I'm connected to the elements, not as the elements are controlling me and I'm just kind of at the mercy. I feel connected. I feel connected to something, and it's very heartfelt. It creates pain, but it creates this great joy at the same time. This order within my life, this order amongst the chaos of the elements. It creates this order, this divine guidance. Okay, so that's where that happiness or balance. It's the same thing as happiness. When you're balanced, you're kind of happy. You're very much happy. Okay. So what our focus should be as women, and even as young women, even if you're older women, it should not be let me go get a relationship. Okay, it should be I need to get into my creative flow. I need to get into my uniqueness. I need to be special. Okay, because when I am in that I am special, that is when I'm getting into my feminine offering for my man. So therefore, I'm not having a relationship that is just we're pulling on each other, we're just at the status quo. I'm going to gather myself into a relationship that is very much about a rhythmic dance with life, that is a call to journey. We are both on a call to journey, and that is maturity. The people that are just doing the status quo, the pulling on each other, that kind of thing, that is not maturity, and that's not a call to journey. A lot of people are not on this call to journey, but that's how we get our victory, like our treasure. We have to go on, we have to embark on that. And that takes us through self-discovery, takes us through challenge, it takes us through obstacles, it takes us through more difficulties. But when we don't go on that, basically we become what the young people fear, which is that man, old, 50-year-old man who looks dull, dimming, and bored with his life. He looks kind of unfulfilled. And he doesn't look like he's learned much about himself in life. Okay, we have a lot of that, but that's not what we want, is it? Deep down, instinctually, we are here to create a very prolific, creative, happy, balanced, intelligent, and wise community. And I keep thinking of the elephants while I'm talking. I still love the elephants. Um, but yes, I wanted to create this video because it was revelations. It was my own introspection that was taking place early this morning. Okay. So, even when a woman has a child, that, like, when a boy, particularly a boy, and if that woman has no, like, creative flow within her, she's not in tune with her own inner wisdom, she has no connection to her soul, there's no depth within her, she has no tools on how to self-soothe, how to balance herself, she's not in alignment with Mother Earth. Okay, she's not on a call to journey. Most likely that boy, like I said, when a woman's not in alignment, the man tend to not be in alignment. Because a woman really, they set that caliber for the relationship on how creative, how rhythmic, how adaptable and changeable that relationship will be is decided by the woman. So changeable as in, I like the whole word resurrectory that Yogi Bhajan uses. Resurrectory. And then you think of resurrection, resurrectory, meaning you are rising. It's like rising out of the death. Rising out of the death. Okay, and there will be many things in the relationships that there will be this level of death, this level of change, this level of this, we got to go in a different direction. Okay, and you got to switch gears. There has a level of We're changing the pattern of the flow. We're changing the relay of the relationship. But the thing is, the woman's strength in that, the resurrectory, like I can rise out of it, change, flow with the rhythm of this relationship. It creates a relationship like Radha and Krishna, or Krishna and Radha, I'm not pronouncing it right, that it is very radiant. It's very vibrant because you can see it in their aura. There is just so much, there's deep trust in Mother Earth, and there's this depth like the sea within them. And that depth is through their changeability, through them going out there and gathering experiences together. Okay, at gathering experiences for the understanding that this gives us our fulfillment, really. The gathering of experiences such as gifts and talents to share. So when you see like a very gifted relationship, very, very gifted, where the people are very talented in their own way, okay, their own uniqueness, it creates this rhythm. Now, when there is no play, or there is no wonder, or there's no gifts or talents such as music or art or really anything, it could be gardening, it could be writing, it could be making candles, it could be doing arts and crafts with kids, anything really. And when there is none of that, the relationship has no rhythm. And when there is no rhythm, there is no energy to resurrect from the down, the low, when the relationship's going through a death. Because we are all going through a shedding of skin all the time, particularly relationships, because you go through one relay for maybe 2 years, with you get in this pattern, but then the relay has to change because you've evolved to another level. Like you've graduated that relay, now you have to enter another. But what a lot of people do is like, I'm gonna get a divorce, okay? Or people get into relationships and they get married very, very quickly without really, particularly the woman, it's more so the woman than the man. It's more so the woman, and the woman hasn't gotten into her creative flow. What is her uniqueness? Okay, because she hasn't taken the time or the space to really practice herself, her natural gifts and talents. Because going immediately into a relationship without taking that time, basically, a lot of people in the South, they just have kids right away, and then she's having kids, but she hasn't even come into her own. So therefore, she has no guidance on how to assist a kid come into his or her own. So women represent the knowledge of the world, experiences of the world. And when she gets into having experiences with the world, meaning she's interacting with Mother Earth, she's not just in her nuclear family. No, she's interacting with the world and learning things. She's a student of the world. Then she becomes a woman who has kids, and those kids know the world. And it's very important because we have a lot of kids that are little, pouty people that are just, they don't know the world at all. And they don't really care to know the world because a lot of times it's not in the mother's heart, their mother's heart to know the world. She hasn't taken the time to really study it. Okay? So what that means is to know the world within the heart of the children is simply there is this deep compassion. There is this deep knowing that we are here to connect with all. We're here for the balance, for the alignment within ourselves and for others. It's like we are here for a great journey. We are in that great journey leads us to our great victory. And the only way to find that victory or know like what that's about or what it pertains to is we have to know our uniqueness as a woman. And then the man, he begins to know who he is deep inside. And the man will always kind of listen to the woman because the man knows on biological level, an instinctual level, that women are, they're the sacred ones, the wise ones, the earth angels. They're the ones that keep this life going. So there's this level of surrender and trust in the female. Okay, and when the female has no trust in herself, a man has no trust in himself. When a woman has really no confidence in herself, a lot of times a man reflects that. So it's kind of where your partner's at, it's kind of like where you're at the same time. Or it could be what you're attracting is showing something about yourself that you need to work through, that you need to kind of like file through and organize. Okay. But the overall, like the Krishna and Radha relationship, like this deep love, depth, like the sea kind of thing that a lot of us want, there's a rhythm to it. It's not just it falls from the sky kind of thing. It is a rhythm. And I'm going to tell you that the female energy pretty much starts that rhythm and keeps that rhythm rhythmic. When the man is in chaos, which we have a lot of that, as we know, history, men are in chaos, totally out of rhythm. When the woman is out of rhythm, it just amplifies it. But when a woman gathers herself to her integrity, her dignity, her leadership, her order, okay, her order, and gets rhythmic, then that becomes the stronger current. Rhythmic, rhythm. And when you're the stronger, it's like the stronger vibration wins, and therefore the arrhythmic can't sustain itself in the presence of a very rhythmic woman. It can't. Okay, and what will happen, okay, if you're very rhythmic as a woman and there's a partner that comes in and he's just woo, kind of thing, he will either have to rise up or he have to drop out, and that's it. So if he drops out, it's not anything to be sorrow for that. It's more so he doesn't want to mature, and that maybe he has his own blockages with maturing. And all we can do as women is to allow them to, you could say, just to, I don't know, just to give them care and give them love, but send them on the way if that is their choice, okay? Because we have free will, okay? But it is care and love that really makes the difference. And it's care and love that how we bring immaturity to its maturity. It's care and love, and it's strength in that. It's not, it's care and love. Because when we nurture anything, nurture it, we are basically creating space for its resurrection. So any male that is, down in the arrhythmic, imbalance and weird funkiness, it's not, playful at all, we can, through our care and through our love, it's very strong, through our own rhythmic creative flow that's radiant and glowing with enthusiasm and great connection with Mother Earth and a conversation with Mother Earth, a communion with Mother Earth as a woman. Basically, we can gently guide any man into his maturity. Okay, and maturity, like we said, is not something to be terrified of. Okay, it's only terrifying because we're looking at maturity from the eyes of our parents and our grandparents, and but the thing is, they're not true maturity. They're actually quite immature. So to live your whole life just status quo, kind of not going out there and having a journey with life, like an interaction with Mother Earth, like an interaction with elephants, an interaction with bees, an interaction with trees and with sunflowers, that kind of interaction, when you're not having that, you're not very mature. Maturity implies that you are gathering some sort of higher understanding or some sort of knowledge that you've gotten, and that creates wisdom, and that creates like a mature perspective or perception on what this whole thing is life. Okay, that's only from you going out there and having some experience of life. So the immaturity is, we just don't want to be a student of life. We don't want to learn the life. We don't really care to learn the life, and that is comes from this fear of maturity is this thing. So we just kind of want to like, just do whatever. Okay, we want to do whatever to escape the tragic, boring life. Okay, but the thing is, the play, like the true play, the play that's fulfilling and satisfying, is that play of form, like the Krishna and Radha, that play of form that where we have talents and gifts to share. It's not intoxication that leads us down a rabbit hole that doesn't really go anywhere, kind of thing. It's like, okay, it leads us into this like disillusionment kind of thing. Yeah. So this playfulness that we all want to be like excited, we all want to be enthusiastic, and we all want to have fun. And that fun is freedom with yourself. It's freedom to be unique. It's freedom to accept yourselves. It's freedom to self-soothe yourself. It's freedom to follow your heart, follow your intuition, to be special and to know that you're special, and to love and nurture yourself, and to love and nurture others. That is very much the playfulness that we all yearn for. Not I'm intoxicated. Okay, that is the shadow side of play, where we don't accept ourselves, where we don't feel special, we don't feel unique. So we kind of, the shadow side of that is where we feel like in order to play or to have fun, we have to basically kind of, we have to be in a like an altered state of consciousness or something, because when we're in an altered state of consciousness, we're not really present with ourselves, and therefore nobody can tell us that, look at you, you're a fool. So we basically are kind of taking our sense of responsibility over ourselves out of our hands. And when we do that, kind of, just blame it on the alcohol thing, the drugs thing, then we don't feel as bad. But we always wake up and we feel like, ah. But when we get into the self-love practice of I love myself regardless, like, I play, I'm very present, I'm very conscious of what I'm doing, and let's say I make a mistake when I play, but I love myself enough where I can remedy that mistake, okay, and learn from it and become better at playing with the game called life. Okay. So when things get heavy, it's not a let's, hide. It's when things get heavy, let's rise. Okay, let's resurrect ourselves. And that comes through the rhythm, getting into your rhythm with life. So when you get into some sort of rhythm, you know how to better handle life as well. Handle life, and that's a good thing. So like a rhythm, it's almost like a daily practice, like a spiritual practice to get in tune with Mother Earth, to see in what area you're out of alignment, and then self-adjust. It's like chiropracting yourself every day, because we always get out of this alignment every day because of life. But when we have that rhythm of like a daily practice, it really helps us to be able to adapt, and to adapt quickly if necessary, and to change. So when the call of journey comes, and it comes all the time, for a new beginning, for opportunity, for expansion, for deeper exploration, self-discovery, we have the rhythm that can back us up. So we're not so scared, we're not so fearful, because we've gotten into this nice flow through our daily practice of learning how to adjust ourselves. So when we get sad, we know how to adjust and comfort ourselves. When we get angry, we know how to adjust and soothe ourselves. Okay, when we feel judgmental, we know how to adjust and to send ourselves compassion. And that's the greatest gift we can give to ourselves, and that becomes the greatest gift for the community, the group, like the tribe, like the pack. Okay? So I feel like this is a long video, but I feel like I got everything out that I needed to get out. So yes. Thank you. Sat Nam.